I have not updated in a while, and there's been a lot of changes. So I was out of town last week for a business conference and all sorts of stuff going on, but the project is coming together beautifully, and I'm gonna do some quick updates and I have some clips of things in real time that I just haven't been able to post. So I'm not the most savvy with the video editing, but I'm gonna try and show you along the way. I did not get video of the men doing sheetrock, but you can see here we've got sheetrock installed. My only complaint is these guys are pretty sloppy. Sheetrocking is a really messy project, and I've got these gorgeous doors, these new doors, Dutch doors, and they didn't fool with covering them, and they've already been stained and coated, and it really wouldn't have taken the guys too long to just throw some plastic on. So I don't love that, but it's a very labor intensive job. They've got to put the sheetrock up, they've got to put the mud on the seams, they've got to tape it, they've got to sand it. So it's very labor intensive. And the ceilings here were supposed to be 9 foot. I don't know how we ended up with 10 foot. I'm happy about it, but it wasn't the intent. And so as you can imagine, it's a lot of ladder work. The guys, I wish I had gotten a video, they stand on these stilt type things, right? And they have to go up and do the ceiling and do the corners, see all the putty up there. It's a tough job. I just wish they took 30 minutes and put plastic on everything, because it's a mess. You can see here this like Dutch door, putty, putty, putty. So there's 10 exterior doors. 5 are new. The ones that are up right now are the new ones. This was Knotty Alder wood. It's a softwood. So I had my guy come in and stained it with what is called dark walnut by Minwax, and then he had to condition it first because it's a softwood. Then he put the dark walnut stain, and then put a glaze, and then sanded it and put another glaze. He did a phenomenal job, and he'll do the exterior salvage doors once those are hung. They're not hung yet because we had to get custom jambs for them. Okay, here's my mantle, my vintage mantle that I wish they covered, but the mantle's hung. And I think I've shown the leaded glass windows before, but it looks very different with the sheetrock up. Fortunately, they covered the beams. That was really important, because these are my hand-hewn square nailed beams that I don't want fooled with. We've got the HVAC return cut out. I just selected my cabinet colors. Here's the sink window. The tub is in. I found a really cool built-in medicine cabinet, and the nice thing is when you're building, you got beautiful afternoon sun. Another salvage window that I found. I found a guy up in Western Illinois, and I ordered antique rosettes and plinth blocks, baseboards, trim, and corner pieces, and he's going to be down here in about 2 weeks. I also got from him old beadboard that he has salvaged from an old house from the late 1800s, and he's going to be bringing that down. The patina on it is beautiful. Okay, I think you've seen, I don't know if I showed these pocket doors. Okay, here's a pocket door we finally got in. Of course, it's salvage door. You can see the wood pegs, right? Oops, there you go. Mortise and tenon joinery. I mean, this is the real deal, old. Leaded glass window. I got these items up in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I just got a delivery. There's a guy up in Pittsburgh who I found on Instagram who sells a lot of old school farm furniture. And for the last year or so, I've become friends with him, and he sells these things via Instagram, and he started to understand my taste, which was good and bad. Good because I've got some beautiful pieces, bad because it added up fast. But these items will be put throughout the barn at some point when we're done. So here is metal from the pole barn that we were disassembling. This is going to be a wainscoting in the hallways and in the tack room. Then I have a lot of salvage gingerbread that's going to go on a couple porches, but there's one porch where I needed new gingerbread. And so I found a mill place down in Texas. My one regret is I got a 4-inch wide spandrel, and I wish I got it at least 6 inches. The 4 looks kind of tiny, but when you put the running trim, you know, it's going to add some depth, but I wish I had splurged and just gotten a little bit wider. And the brackets, I think they're in a stack. Yeah, they're here. I'm not going to fool with moving that around, but they have a really beautiful star motif. And also in this pile are the cedar fish scales that will go in the gable. And I'll have to share a video of my drawings and design for that porch. So got old apple crates that came in from Pittsburgh. It's going to be great for storage. Okay, here, this is what we call Flex One, and I'm thinking this might end up being like kind of a small retail place when I open my greenhouse business. This is cased in for a French door. And the first thing I bought from Dave up in Pittsburgh, I just got that today on Facebook Marketplace. Isn't that awesome? It's like I can't help it. It's very addicting. Okay. Look at this stuff. Okay, here they are. They're laying down and you can't really appreciate them because the back is to us. But these are French leaded glass botanical doors. On the other side is a floral motif. Look how wide these are. Look at the joinery. I mean, these are old school. Okay, you can see here. This is old wavy glass. And look at the handle. So be really careful. Those will go in Flex One. Here's more stuff I found in Memphis. And I can't remember if I posted about this or not, but this is kind of like the holding room. Here's exterior salvage doors that will go up when the guys do the custom jams. Medicine cabinet I found on Facebook. Paint samples. I've got to choose my paint, and the sheetrock guys were really sloppy. I didn't think they were coming back that day, and I put up there's like these sticker samples, and they just tore them down and stuck them all together. So didn't love that, but I don't know what to show you really. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what colors work. There's a beautiful headboard. Got that on Facebook Marketplace. Okay, so that's really it for internal, like the inside of the barn, the interior, rather, that's the better word, the interior. You can see here the next big surprise, and this is what I'm going to have to practice my Photoshop skills and jump back, because I did take some video of the guys cutting the drive. I mean, look at this. There's the kitchen island. That's a bar. So I have a driveway and a Jonah. A driveway and a Jonah. Hey, buddy. Jonah's happy with it. So I think I've shown footage where there was a very steep incline here. This was not cut at all. We kind of had like a path just from vehicles going up and down. But you can see here the pole barn. There used to be the porta potty here and a big pile of fill that the guys spread. So these two guys, Bobby and John. Bobby was on the dozer, which is still here. It's a Cat D1, which is, I guess, the baby. It starts at D1 and then it goes up to like maybe D10. I don't know, but that's the baby dozer. Bobby was on the dozer, John was on the skid. And the way that these two men worked, it was unbelievable. They did this in maybe like 2 or 3 days. I was up in Maryland at a conference when they did most of it. Here's that new exterior doors. They look beautiful. That's, again, the dark walnut. And so part of the reason, I mean, we need the driveway anyhow, but one of the reasons we had to get it done now was for Middle Tennessee to drop a second electric pole. They required that part of the pole barn right here be taken down. That's where the horses were, and I got them a run-in shed. And they required that the driveway be accessible to the second pole so that their trucks could get to it. So you can see here, this is really nice stone. This was very expensive. And then where it turns orange, that's a product called chert, which we put that down temporarily so that Middle Tennessee Electric could get to the second pole and install it and service it if they need to. But we didn't spend the kind of money on the stone because I'm not quite sure how I want that driveway to work over there in the future, because eventually this barn is coming down. That is holding a lot of salvage stuff right now. There's a lot of old wood in there from the stock barn that we took down last March. If you've been following along, took a bunch of videos on that. So I've been holding all that wood that we're going to use in this barn. So here's the back side. Okay, so up here, see this? This is the gable where the fish scale will go. And on this porch is where the new gingerbread will go. It'll go around there. It's just a little porch. We'll have that little spandrel and then the running trim under it, and then brackets that have a porch theme. And the guys, I mean, siding this is taking a very, very long time. And so they should be done pretty soon. In here, I've got carriage door coming in from North Carolina. And it's wide enough where I can put my truck in, I can put a side-by-side, I can, you know, if I get a four-wheeler, whatever, it can go in there. It's just trying to make sure that this structure is incredibly flexible for lots of uses in the future. And I think that's really it. On the porch right here, I've got pallets of slate. Those are gonna go in the hallway. It's Brazilian black slate that I ordered out of California. These here, and there's one you can see through this porch, there's another one right there. They're called flying porticos. I mean, we just call them here as like baby porches, but flying because there's no actual porch posts that come down, and portico meaning baby porch. But we put those up just to protect the door and to provide a little bit of interest. And, you know, if it's something where it's one of those things, like if you're getting your keys to open the door and it's raining, you've got some protection from the weather. It's very hot and humid here today. Jonah hates the heat. He has like such thick fur. But he's a buddy and he wants to come hang. Okay, so that's what we got going on right now. Guys are working on cutting the driveway today, like this bulldozer. I would be freaked out. I mean, look at this. Look at the tilt it's on. I guess I was just talking with Justin and Gabe, the builders, and they were saying this is called a D1, which is the smallest bulldozer that Cat makes. Goes up to like a D8 or 9. But wow. Today we're doing a lot of grade work. You guys are cutting the driveway. So you can see the black on the block. The block is like a weatherproofing product paint. I don't really know what it's called, but the idea is that's the part of the block that's going to be below grade, and because the block is very porous, we had to put this product on it to keep the water out. So the guys are going to fill up to where the black line stops, and then where the black line stops on the block, from that point when the fill is up there, we're going to put it's actually, it looks like stone, but it's made out of concrete. It's like a stone facade, so it'll look like the foundation is stone. But we got the dozer working, we got the skid working, and we had these piles of dirt from when we dug out for the barn foundation, because we put the barn right on a hill and it's really long, so there's a huge change in grade from this end to the other end.